Ladies and gentlemen, the following bout on this evening's card, bout number 3 at TFP 5, takes us to men's Muay Thai amateur rules and application, 3 by 2-minute rounds in the welterweight division. Introducing to you first and fighting out of the blue corner with the trunk colors of all blue and standing 1.7 meters tall, weighing in at 66.4 kilograms and making his Muay Thai debut tonight, fighting out of Top Primate, introducing Narayan Vyas. And his opponent will be working out of the red corner with the red trunks and weighing in at 69.95 kilograms. No stranger to Thaiholics Fight Promotions. He returns, ladies and gentlemen. Please welcome, fighting out of Thaiholics, George Thanathara. Thaiholics have brought their first fighter to the evening's entertainment. George Thanathara has returned to us to put on another show, a much improved George Thanathara, and I'm sure you know a lot about him in the gym. Carl, can you fill us in on the blanks?
Yeah, so he was supposed to fight at TFP 4, I think it was, but unfortunately due to a late withdrawal of his opponent, that fight was scrapped. So this is actually his debut. Been putting in the work at the gym at Thaiholics. George comes with a bit of a Taekwondo background, so he's got a slightly different style in the way that he strikes, but it should be interesting to see if Nick has been able to sort of tame that out and get him to be a bit more composed, because he's quite wiry out there, so we'll see how it goes. It's looking good, he looks calm. And his opponent, Narayan Vyas, don't know much about him, but also training out of Cape Town's Top Primate under Jean-J Blaine. We'll be refereeing most of our fights later.
Yeah, we have a change in ref from Nicholas Radley. Here is Clinton Walters, the co-vice president of the South African Muay Thai organization. So Nick had his turn, but he's cornering now, because of course his fighter, George Thanathara, is about to get underway in the red trunks, fighting out of the red corner and going through the motions of the Y crew.
Just paying respects to his corner, his coach, his gym, sometimes to your family if you want to do that. And of course the fighters paying respect to each other before and after the fights, touching gloves. It's always good to see a bit of camaraderie, even though they're facing off against each other in the ring. There's no reason why you can't be friends after.
And if we can throw forward quickly to the rest of tonight's entertainment, after this fight, Dean Krobler of Iron Tiger is going to be taking on James Swart of Camp Fight. Then back to the ladies, Narayan makes her long-awaited TFP debut, fighting out of Iron Tiger up against Kristen Clark. And of course, Pride Fighting Academy's Margo Mutabi makes his appearance, the first one at TFP, up against Kaya Ntombela from Domination. Of course, we just saw his teammate, Candice Lewis, picking up the W, the fight just before this.
Yeah, that's going to be some fireworks there. We know Kaya likes to bring a lot of power. He's quite a big guy for 79 kgs. He's like pretty much my height, and I walk around at about 20 kgs more than him.
And I heard some background information on Kaya. He had to have a 10-kilogram cut in the last week of the fight. You know, unfortunately, his mom passed away, and our condolences, of course, at ringside to the family of the Ntombelas. Of course, Siboniso was also the twin brother who's fought here at TFP. So our condolences to that family, and to drop 10 kilos and look as stacked as he has on the scales yesterday, and he's going to put on a show coming up against also another very, very large gentleman for the division, Margot Mutabi of Pride Fighting Academy.
Yeah, that's no easy feat cutting that weight, especially, you know, in such short notice.
With a heavy
such
heart.
a short amount of time, yeah. Yeah, definitely. We're switching up now. We're going in, or next after this fight, we'll be going into the Pro-Am fights, where we'll have 3x3 minute rounds for the guys and 3x2 for the ladies. Still with a 1 minute rest though, in between rounds.
So this is the last amateur fight on the card tonight, opening us up with the ones who want to make their mark early in their career, and what a stage to do it here at Thaiholics Fight Promotions, live on YouTube, and of course a wonderful crowd that we have in here at the Grand West Casino and Entertainment World in Cape Town. As we get underway, Thanathara standing in the pocket and looking to blast with that right hand.
Yeah, definitely going to be looking to, he's using that inside kick just to distract and then bringing in those big punches. Throws a nice teep there, setting the pace and setting the tone of the fight already with a lot of power, and it's really quick at the same time. Nice uppercut, right straight combination there from Thanathara. Vyas staying composed, walking forward. George doing well just to pick his shots. Landing a lot of those outside leg kicks.
Lovely use of the jab from Thanathara. You know, these two guys look pretty compact. They look like they're not expending big energy, not throwing wasteful shots.
Ooh, bit of a slip of the head there. Avoids the punch. Comes back with a counter. I think, did he step on something there? He bounced on his toe.
Vyas rather preferring to stand close to his opponent and try and catch all those shots on the legs and the arms. But those shots that are caught on the arms, those shots that are blocked on the legs, are they counting in the ref's opinion and the judge's opinions?
Well, if you're busy checking the kick, then it won't be counted. But if it's landing on the leg the way that these are, that's definitely counted. Even kicking up to the arms, you know, it's sometimes difficult to say. Not every judge scores it the same, but they are technically, those are point-scoring kicks.
And believe me, even if you're blocking it, it still hurts like hell.
Yeah, for sure.
So was that really a block?
And you'll start seeing welts rise up on the guy's body. You can already see that Narayan's left arm is starting to change color there. He needs to also be careful with the way that he's like dropping that left hand every time he comes in, because George, as we can see, likes to throw that big overhand right the way he just did there and catching him as he comes in.
Amateur rules, shin protection, elbow protection, helmets are off, as these two guys have gone and started off at a good pace between the two of them.
Yeah, great round. I think George did really well there just to pick his shots, firing rapidly. Narayan doing his best just to try and get in on the inside of him, but at the same time sacrificing by having to eat those shots to get in the first place. His coach, Jandre Blaine, will have some words of advice for him now, choosing or electing not to take the seat. You can see George breathing with his mouth open.
Nick Radley having not only a busy night because A, promoter, B, co-president, C, coach. He's got 2 title fights up.
D, refereeing.
D, refereeing, oh. He's got 2 title fights tonight that he's got his charges in the ring. Of course, Shane Deacon is going to be defending, making his first defense of his South African Muay Thai organization, South African Championship belt. And Iskak Ibrahim, of course, is going to be coming up as well later tonight, defending his belt for the first time as well. So, you know, no rest for the weary, and of course he's been here all week setting up this event, so
sure.
I'd love to know what he's on.
He's on that good Endurade.
Of course, Endurade come to the party. Great segue into our sponsors, Endurade, who are giving the winners a hamper for every fight tonight that you see at TFP.
George really doing a good job there of just using those flurries. You know, it's frustrating for Narayan. You can see he's trying to get in, but every time he does, he's sacrificing and taking shots, and George doing well just to defend when he does have to have those kicks coming in. He needs to be careful not to drop his hands too much after throwing though, leaving himself exposed.
Oh,
He hurt himself on a kick there. George pushes, gets the big overhand right, drops him to the canvas for the first time in this fight in the second round.
He struggled to support his
Needs
own
to find
weight.
the neutral corner, Clint counting him down.
He struggled to support his own weight on that foot after the kick occurred, so he was hoping for nothing broken.
I saw he bounced early on it as well. I wonder if he maybe did a little twist on the ankle early in that first round. Maybe still, suffering from that. He's shaking his leg now, so it's definitely something going on there.
One limb down, 7 limbs remaining. Muay Thai rules in application.
And I'm sure Coach Nicholas Raleigh will have been giving advice to put some pressure on after that first knockdown for George to come forward and just make sure that he gets dividends for dropping him in that second round.
Good overhand right by George Thanathara.
Yeah, he's going hunting with that one now. And of course, as you said earlier, the way Narayan comes in with that hand down means he's bound to take those shots.
He can't miss with that right hand. Everyone he's throwing is making good contact.
Yeah, we're slowly starting to see a little bit of fatigue set in as well. So there's a good overhand right. It's got him wobbling.
That was a temple
Clint
shot.
Breaks it, giving him a standing 8 count.
His eyes are not quite in line with his opponent. He took a bit of damage, that temple shot, that right hand coming over the top from George Thanathara.
Clint having a good look there, giving quite a long count for him. We're only on 7 now. Gets him to walk forward, put his hands up. He'll ask him if he wants to continue the fight.
And you got to agree with the way that he handled that. It might have been a bit slow, but you want the fight to continue, but you also want to make sure that he is able to continue.
Yeah, for sure. And he jumped in before he got too rattled. I think George even didn't realize that he had rattled him by the time Clint had stepped in. So it's always good that our referees are keeping a close eye on the guys, making sure that they stay safe in there.
Clint Walters, wildly experienced in the sport of Muay Thai. He's been to Thailand himself. He was stuck there during lockdowns and forced to basically just train and eat rice all day.
What a place to be stuck.
And of course completed all of his appropriate courses for coaching the sport of Muay Thai. So heavily experienced referee that we have here in charge, and you could see that experience coming through as soon as Vyas got rattled.
Yeah, and also he's got quite an interesting referee style. He's not too involved. He sort of lets things go, and as soon as he needs to be there, he jumps in, as we saw in that replay. But generally just allowing the fight to flow quite nicely, which is great. There's where we saw that he must have landed that kick on a hard part of the knee, and then instantly George pounced, took that big right hand, dropped him to the canvas. Maybe we'll see that again now. As he must have rolled his ankle as he hit that kick.
And he just couldn't support himself with it anymore, So he's got a leg that's got a problem. He's been rattled in round number 2.
George looks fired up here in this third and final round.
Dangerous place to be.
Looking very wiry now. Skittish almost. He just needs to maybe settle down. He's going to be walking into that shot the way he did there. Nice teep from him.
Thanathara has also got a very subtle but deadly elbow that he walks in with in an upward direction from the right-hand side. He's thrown that a few times to decent effect because they've made contact, they've landed and they've countered.
Lands a big body knee there. Yeah, of course, if you're standing right in front of your opponent with your hands quite wide apart, it's easy to slip that elbow in, even with the elbow pads. You don't necessarily get cut as easily by that, but the force, the impact you're receiving is quite brutal.
He's also able to keep his opponent off balance by kicking at the upper leg of Narayan Vyas.
Yeah, and we can see Vyas isn't throwing with as much intent as he was early on. Maybe a little bit skittish about getting in there and taking those big shots as well. But he's still game, he's still coming forward. George fakes with the knee, comes over with the right hand. Eats a shot as he comes in. But obviously still got a lot of power in those kicks that he's actually spinning Narayan as he lands them. Boy, lands a head kick there. But Narayan shakes it off. Not too phased. Didn't follow through from the hip.
Mighty impressive work from George Thanathara. I'd say 2 clear rounds in the bag, looking for the 3rd.
I'd say if he just keeps landing that 1-2 combination coming over the top. Oh, nice big elbow to the temple.
Got the confidence to throw it successfully, why not?
Yeah, and if you can see the target clearly, to step in with an elbow, that speaks a little bit to Vyas' defense. I'm sure you'll take some time to watch this fight back when he gets a chance to. Just realize that hand needs to stay tight on the chin, especially when you have an opponent that's looping his punches, stepping in with a big elbow. George putting the pressure on in the final 10 seconds. Great job by both guys. Got the crowd, some of the guys on their feet, getting the round of applause. Raises his hands. Crowd loving it.
The winner receiving a hamper from our sponsors and Jurate as we go to the judges' scorecard on the third bout on this evening's card. And your winner coming by way of unanimous decision victory, fighting out of the red corner and Thaiholics, George Thanathara.